Welcome back to segment number 4 now of Super Bowl 101. And the Philadelphia Eagles have arrived at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And the Chiefs are on their way there, so they should be arriving soon. But I know they're going to be talking with the Eagles on the pregame show. And and we're going to get to some legends of the gridiron in just a moment. But right now, it's time for another Super Bowl 101 trivia question. Here it is for segment number 4. What NFL QB legend never got a Super Bowl ring? And I will have the answer later in this segment. I will have it for you. Uh, the first legend of the gridiron is the one and only Johnny Unitas of the Baltimore Colts. This is way before became the Indianapolis Colts. Johnny Unitas, who was the Baltimore Colts quarterback from 1956 to 1972, he was known as the man with the golden arm, and he broke a lot of records. He won a Super Bowl over the New York Jets, and I think that was in 1966, I believe, or 67, either way. Check me if I'm wrong. But he broke a lot of records in the late 50s and 60s and early 70s as well. Moving on to a legendary head coach, Don Shula was the legendary head coach of the Miami Dolphins from 1970 to 1995. He is the only NFL head coach to lead a team to an undefeated season, and that team was, of course, the 1972 Miami Dolphins, which is celebrating their 50th anniversary. Shula is also, the only head coach to win over 300 games in his coaching career, and he is definitely one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL, and he is looking down on this 50th anniversary Miami Dolphins season this past year, and uh, hopefully, I think the 72 Dolphins, I don't think that undefeated record will ever be broken by any other NFL team to this day. So he is one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL. And The next one I have, next legendary of the gridiron, is Jim Brown. He was the Cleveland Browns fullback and running back from 1957 to 1965. He was number 32, one of the greatest legends of all time. Brown was more than just a running back, one of a kind as well. He caught passes, returned kickoffs, and even threw 3 touchdown passes. His 12,312 rushing yards and 15,439 combined net yards put him and then class by himself. Jim was a unanimous first team All NFL pick 8 times, 1957 through 1961, 1963, and 1965. He played in 9 Pro Bowls in 9 years and was the game's outstanding back 3 times. Brown was unanimously named Rookie of the Year in 1957. He was recognized that season as the NFL's most valuable player by many media organizations. In all, he earned MVP honors 4 times: 1957, 1958, 1963, and 1965. So he is one of the greatest fullback slash running backs in the NFL. And I'm going to get to, I'm going to keep going right now. I have one last legend of the gridiron. It's a Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame coach, Tom Landry, and he was the legendary uh, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys from 1960 to 1968. Tom Landry was selected as the head coach when the Dallas Cowboys started their first National Football League season in 1960. He remained in that capacity for 29 seasons until new ownership opted for new field leadership after the 1988 campaign. At the time of his retirement, only George Halas, who had coached the Chicago Bears for 40 years, surpassed his 29-year tenure, with one club. It took Landry a few years to develop his young club into a status, contender status, But once he did, the Cowboys enjoyed expectational success for more than 2 decades. The Cowboys under Landry had their first winning season and their first NFL Eastern Conference championship in 1966. They didn't fall below 500 again until 1986. During that period, Landry's teams had 20 straight winning seasons, 13 divisional championships, 5 NFC titles, and victories in Super Bowl VI and Super Bowl XII. And the Cowboys also played in Super Bowls 5, 10, and 13. His regular season career record is 252 and 162 and 6, and his record counting playoffs is 270, 278, and 6. Only Halas and Don Shula top his 270 career wins. Landry gained reputation as a great technical uh, innovator as well as an inspirational leader. He introduced the flex defense and multiple offense in the 1960s. In the 1970s, he structured the shotgun or spread offense, and in the 1980s, he embraced and helped develop the situation substitution concept of handling his player talent. And Landry was an excellent player in the pros as well. He was a defensive back, punter, and kick returner with the 1949 New York Yankees in the All American Football Conference and with the New York Giants in the NFL between 1950 and 1955. He recorded 32 career interceptions and had a 40.9 yard punting average. He served as the Giants. He served the Giants as a player coach in 1954 and 1955 before becoming a full-time defensive coach from 1956 to 1959. And he is one of the greatest coaches ever to be in the NFL. And so those are my legends of the gridiron. And it's time right now to reveal the answer to the segment 4 Super Bowl 101 trivia question. Which NFL quarterback legend never got a Super Bowl ring? And if you said Dan Marino, you are correct. Dan Marino played in at least, I think 3 Super Bowls, 2 or 3 Super Bowls, check me if I'm wrong, but never got a Super Bowl ring. And I will have another trivia question in segment number 5. And that will be coming up, so stay tuned for that. But there have been a lot. Those were my 4 legends of the gridiron. There's been a lot of legends, and there's just been a lot. But Tom Landers by far and Don Shula were 2 of the greatest head coaches in the NFL, and Johnny Unitas and uh, the and and Jim Brown were two of the greatest players in the NFL. And that's why I wanted to honor those legends of the gridiron, because they are four of the NFL greats. Coming up in the fifth segment of Super Bowl 101, I will have the some of the greatest uh, legendary Super Bowl records of all time. And I've got four of them, and they are four unforgettable ones. And you're gonna know who you're gonna recognize them. And I'll have them for you when I come back for segment number 5 after uploading this video and continuing watching the pregame show. So I'll be back with more Super Bowl 101 right after this. Stick around.